Hello, uh, hello everyone. It's here. Today we'll be continuing Happy Saint Sheol 8. We're continuing Happy Again. Hello everyone. Reggie here. Today we'll be continuing Happy Saint Sheol. Part, this is part 3. This is going to tackle kind of everything in day 3. No, I'm not sure anyway, basically. So fun fact from one of the comments said that this where like at least some branching paths will happen and like choices. Makes sense because we cannot check everything from this day, I guess, at least. But yeah. So if we remember last time from the day 2, a little bit of recap. We get to know more of the departments, even like the secret library, and also of course, from where Belial will go to, the magic department, where we meet our alternate as well. Fortunately, I don't remember the other one. It's been a while, I guess. I think the other was Rose, like one of the characters at least in the underground library, I think. And the other, I don't remember. I still recall, like the end of it is like some sort of something, I guess I would say. It was certainly a bedtime event. Without further ado, stop yapping, uh, continue and go to work. We also had the nightmare so before this day. So yeah, that's also I remember. Make sure there's on the other one. So yeah. It's not like I'm using the other ear of the earphones anyway. Just in case something happens while we're recording. So yeah. The hallway is deserted. The rain that's been falling steadily. The hallway is deserted. The rain that's been falling steadily since this morning progressively hits the window harder and harder. The dark sky makes the already somber building seem bigger than usual. Okay. We can check the history. So, how do we start as far as the aside from like the first text? Yeah, I have a nightmare of like the angel, if I remember that correctly. Like everything is just me, and also just the angel whispers. I'm tired of this. That's basically about it. And still here at the part, Belial reminiscence of like the yesterday and things. So yeah, we also met Haku Akira. There we go. If I remember that name right as well. We also first time met the bishop. And also remember that they didn't remember anything the events from the day one. So that's most of the time I would say about it. So let's continue again here. History. Okay, so it's just like raining. I slink past the department's main room, turn the corner, and immediately come face to face with the last person I want to see right now. Seemingly just as a surprise to me. He stares at me silently for a moment before scowling. You again. You can try not to add more work to my plate. What are you up to this time, aside from slacking? Huh? Oh, sorry. I took care of the job. I took care of the job you decided to leave half finished, and then went home. If you don't feel like working here. then we can find you something else to do. With that, Securet begins hurrying toward the department office. Most people are happy enough with slinging petty insults, but this guy isn't satisfied unless he gets in that last infuriating word, just like pouring salt on an open, unhealed wound. Okay, yeah. I mean, also in day one, you already piss him off even further. Thanks to him, I'm in an even worse mood than before. Where is he in such a rush to get to anyway? Did you run over here? Did you run over here just to look for me? I'm simply following orders. You've been running around. Yes, thanks to you. There's an uneasy pause. If I feel the silence, then the conversation will undoubtedly continue. But I'm not sure if I'm in the mood for that. The awkward silence is filled with the sound of two people passing through the hallway. Suddenly he speaks up. I'm asking you to be extra careful. We have a guest coming. Ooh. A guest? What do you mean? You're gonna get angry at that? Not really. He just looks at me silently. If you didn't want to answer, then you should have kept your mouth shut from the beginning. You know? As if sensing my frustration, he suddenly stops, peering at me out of the corner of his eye. I hear his words before I had time. Okay, I didn't mean to press that immediately. Here it is again. I hear his words before I have time to panic. It's easy to click unfortunately the touchpad. I'm sorry. A benefactor. One of several willing to help us by donating not just money, but material goods and time as well. Originally, the health department was in charge of distributing donations to believers. But, but, sorry, I couldn't catch that. Couldn't quite catch it. Can you repeat what you said? Forget it. You don't really need to know any of this. All that matters is you do exactly what you're told of. What you're told if any of these benefactors are around. And if any of them try talking to you, don't deviate from the script. If any of them start to become interested, it will cause what? A whole lot of trouble. He speaks so quietly and slurs his words, making his voice sound abrasive to me. He pauses mid-sentence before lowering his voice, speaking even quieter than usual. This only makes it worse as I'm already straining to understand. Good grief. This guy is such an arsehole. If you look up trouble in the dictionary, his picture would be there. Dang, that's so mean. Honestly, I'm pretty confident in my ability to deal with troublesome adults. Uh, ability to deal with troublesome adults. So, fortunately, you already had trouble before, you know. As folks getting older, their thinking gets simpler and their actions follow likewise. Don't know about that. Not everyone. Have you seen like Albert Einstein or something? Let's not go into that. All you need to do is butter them up and they quickly become putty in your hands. Interesting words. We have department office. Okay. Security reaches the door to the main department office before. The noise from inside audible from all the way down the hall. Okay. Let me see if I'm speaking out in the normal volume. Okay. Walking in together, I immediately grab the attention of a brown-haired woman who walks over, heels clacking noisily. Beautiful butts. She plants herself wordlessly in front of me. Security glances at me out of the corner of his eye before quickly walking past us. Quit. She snaps at me, leaving an awkward silence hanging over us. She comes at me out of nowhere, commanding me to quit. I look at her, completely taken aback. Not sure if I heard her correctly. Seeing my confusion, she repeats what she said, except louder and slower. Her visible disgust for me even stronger. Kill you, ID. Understand? I told you to quit. Didn't you hear me? Not waiting for an answer, she slaps my arm in an attempt at shoving me aside before stalking out. Jesus. She clearly got out of her way in order to confront me out of spite. I pat the arm that she smacked on her way out. Jesus Christ. She very clearly hadn't held back, but regardless, she's still a tiny girl, much smaller than me. And yet, I couldn't shake the lingering discomfort, like gum stuck to the bottom of a shoe. Do they know? Do they know the thing? I gain nothing by being conspicuous living. If anything, I'll only make things work. I'll only make things even more awkward than they already are, which is the last thing I want. Avoiding the flurry of people around me, I quietly slip over to my designated spot. I'm a pretty unlucky guy by default, but knowing I brought this string of bad luck onto myself makes it worse. Well, sighing under the weight of my bad decisions, I hear my name, her voice as effervescent as a soap bubble. My expression immediately brightens on seeing that familiar face for the first time today. Oh, Maya, you're here early. Not really. You're the one that's late. No, it looks like my sister just left. Yeah, I ran into her a minute ago. In fact, she seems in a worse mood than usual. She didn't say anything to you, did she? We weren't exactly having a conversation or anything, but, well, we were wondering if you were maybe hanging out with that blondie girl. That's why you weren't here. My smile momentarily vanishes, probably because I never would have imagined Maya, of all people, being the one to ask me about that. I might not know her very well, but I figure I had a clear enough picture painted of the type of girl she is. Quickly regaining control of my countenance, I open my mouth to speak. I shudder at the thought of her agonizing over this, even if momentarily. Sure, if it's working, okay. Oh, I was just not feeling the greatest. I'm still not used to the pillows they have here. Oh, and the time difference isn't a fighter. I see. More importantly, I clap my hands together before crouching down to get closer to her height. Her shoulders tremble as she looks at me out of the corner of her eyes, wide open with worry. Feeling a pang of guilt over seeing her in that state, I lower my voice before responding. Did something happen? That jerk security mentioned something to me about some kind of guess. Made it seem like kind of a big deal. Oh, well, about that. My emergency drops her gaze. Anyone would be put off seeing her look this miserable, but at least I'm not the reason for it. I follow her gaze to see a small child standing next to her. I'm not sure how long she's been here. She's been there, but she has a firm grip on Maya's arm. A little taller than 3 feet. The girl has long baby blue curls that are beautifully styled. The well ironed and formal attire she's wearing the well ironed and formal attire she's wearing paints her with a dignified time-worn look, missing from the other girls. Interesting. Her appearance clashes completely with our surroundings, making her seem otherworldly, almost like she's a porcelain doll come to life. Also different like eye styles, to be honest. One is like a shining star and the other is just a dot. I noticed her eyes on me. Where in the world did this young rich girl come from? Who are you? The words are barely out of my mouth before her jewel like eyes light up. She then immediately lashes onto my arm before yanking up my sleeve. Her reaction is so unexpected that I topple over in surprise. Bringing the girl down with me, she doesn't seem to care, however, evidenced by the fact that her hands never stop moving. Oh, what? What? Wah! You're the dark-skinned boy I heard so much about with the ceramic black hair that shines like obsidian. Oh, and red eyes that burn as passionately as the sun itself. You hail from the outside world, yes? She's shouting at a loud volume you'll never expect from such a quiet-looking girl. Her overly intense curiosity upon meeting me. For the first time, I came to how one might treat a dog or a cat. As her hands move restlessly from my arms to my face, running through my hair, then over my ears, and down to my stomach, with barely a pause to catch her breath. I find myself getting angry. Getting angry. Hey. Wow, I've never seen an actual outsider before. Your skin's so smooth and firm. And then it's cool and hard in certain places. Almost like clay. Overall, you're pretty well built. You've got the healthy body commonly seen in agrarian society, as depicted in textbooks. Though you're a tad shorter than I imagined, and your belly's a bit soft. Oh no, you got a little punch in you. Wait, are you holding your breath? Go ahead and relax. Cut fingernails. which is to be expected. And oh, are these bandages on your arm or just on your arm just normal bandages? Can you take them off for me? Excuse me. The moment I opened my mouth for this, she immediately grabs my jaw with both hands. The feeling of being forced into this position suddenly brings an unwanted memory to mind. Sticky hands running from my face to my back and then over my chest. Cool fingers pressed against my cheeks. Forcing my mouth open, I find myself growing faint as discomfort swells inside me. Your tongue and teeth are the same light color as the people here. Fascinating. It's really fascinating. I wonder if the number of teeth is the same. Though your bite seems a bit irregular. Oh, my inquisitive mind is dancing with the need for knowledge. And it's you're free right now. Because I love to take you somewhere that's a bit darker. Just the two of us. Jesus Christ. There's no way I'd make it to strip down in public, of course. Nothing indecent, I swear. Mustering all the strength in my tense-up body, I brusquely shake her hands off me. What's wrong with you? I'm not your pet. Oh. You're being really rude. Touching a total stranger's body without permission is creepy. Knock it off. I spit my words out with such venom that even I'm a little flustered by my reaction. How did I let this girl get so under my skin? Declare. The usual chaos in the department room is suddenly replaced by silence. Feeling the weight of everyone's attention on me, I force my inflamed temper down, returning to my typical calm demeanor. Being the center of attention is hard enough. But having a tough guy like me seemingly threatening a young girl like her doesn't seem great from any angle. How scary. I hear someone speak up from somewhere behind us, only adding to the subdued atmosphere. The comment is followed up by a glib whistle, and I realize there's nothing I can do except try and slow down my out of control breathing. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. It's not usually like this. It's okay, Miss Maya. That was an obvious fox pass on my part. My sincerest apologies, man from the outside world. I am I am deeply ashamed of my uncouth actions, tarnishing the misunderstanding thing. I hope you can allay your anger and find it in your heart to forgive me. That seems a bit extreme. I mean, I wasn't really that mad. With her over-the-top apology accepted, her expression of misery quickly brightens once more. She's like an open book when it comes to her emotion. Hmm. Sorry for not introducing myself earlier. My name is Cleon Miyasadis, the eldest daughter of the proud Miyasadis family. We usually provide financial assistance to Saint Sheol. However, we also help by directly procuring supplies requested by the believers, like equipment and furnishings for the priests. Is this who Securate meant by the guest? It's not exactly what I imagined, but now I understand what he meant about causing trouble. As you probably heard, one One cannot become a priest of the devil without first becoming an adult. So I always ended up meeting so many recruits every time I visit the cleanup department. I have to say, every single one has been a treasure. And the priests here have treated me with exceptional care, thankfully. Having perked back up, the young girl immediately starts gleefully rambling, and I find myself quickly losing focus. I can't make out what she's talking about, though I do manage to catch a few sentences of you. Why do you go and apologize for? You're pretty chatty for being such a high class lady. That's right. That's right. You're always playing around with such weird things. You're gonna get yourself sick. You're gonna get yourself sick. And yet, for some reason, my brain latches onto some of her words more than others. I was so satisfied by the amusing spectacle before them. Several of the priests speak to the young girl briefly before passing by. She smiled shyly, as if unable to glean the true meaning of her. Several people looked my way as well, but unable to figure out how I should react to this situation. I refuse to beat their gaze. The entire uncomfortable situation is giving me heart. Worrying that somehow Maya's feelings may have gotten hurt during the commotion earlier. I can't bring myself to look over at her. Oh goodness, I can't believe it's already this late. I'm sorry for having on for this long. Every second counts when you're a trainee, doesn't it? Yep, I understand that very well. Every moment spent here in this temple is incredibly important. What? Before long, the girl tugs at the hem of her skirt. At the hem of her skirt in a well-practiced manner before curtsying politely. I look forward to seeing you again, outsider. Until then, please be well. Okay. Oh wait. I exchange glances with Maya. Maya sometimes, well, more like usually, has a tendency to look down at the ground or off into the distance. It's a habit she probably picked up in response to undesirable situations, creating her own mental shadows where she can hide. And as evidence of this, when I look into her eyes, hidden beneath her thin eyelashes, she keeps her mouth shut, her gaze unfocused. But there are times where she's able to look people right in the face, especially when she needs help of some kind. Her eyes wide and her brows furrowed in clear distress. She might not have a dead grip on me, but she's giving me that look right now. I have no idea what's wrong, and I can't ask her either. Oh, we're back into this kind of thing. Residential area. Well, at least that's a good way to like timestamp or something later. Hold on. Something bumps against my foot, and I look down to see a human head. It's the head of a total stranger, trapped in an eternal expression of wide-eyed shock. Their skin rough and pockmarked. I can see the pure white mold growing on their protruding tongue. Caught completely off guard, my body instantly stiffens as I cry out in disgust, unable to look away. Almost instantly, the head vanishes from It vanishes from you. Someone must have taken it away. Don't just stand there with your mouth open. Huh? Must be nice having so much empty space in your brain. I look around to see Secret tossing the head into a damn sack. All that's left are ghosts of the furniture that were once here. Gray marks scattered everywhere within the thick layer of dust, gradually coming into focus. As I was saying, slacking off when she should be working is a huge problem. Who's slacking off? You mean Maya? She's neglecting her afternoon duties under the pretext of helping that benefactor with her bags. It's difficult trying to jump into a cleanup job halfway through. Plus, she'll probably be helping out the health department for the rest of the day. That's the problem. Sounds like Maya to me, a textbook people pleaser. Are you even listening to me? Sometimes I wonder what goes through your mind. I hear the quiet voice of a young man, coming from a group of ministers blocking the entrance. After giving a curt response, Security shoots me a look that seems to say, "Come here." It's been 3 or 4 hours since the body was discovered. The rubberneckers have finally begun to lose interest, clearing out. Upon catching sight of us heading toward the door, the young man, who's been loitering here since before we arrived, wanders over. The head I saw earlier definitely belonged to an old man. I can see a faint resemblance in this young man's face. It's probably safe to assume we're disposing of this young man's father. Secret, who's pulled down the cloth covering his mouth, quickly explains the situation before bringing out some keepsakes we found. He mentions the cause of death being a combination of shock from a heart attack and the constant cold, the cause of many deaths lately among the elderly. It sounds like reality. His house was quite small, meaning he didn't own many things. Interesting. Upon seeing a particular frame picture, he drops his gaze, his body shaking all. I've never seen this man before in my life, but it's obvious that his suffering outweighs his grief. Right? He can simply mourn the passing of his father. He'll probably have to deal with some other internal issues first. What do you want us to do with this? I'd appreciate if we could dispose of them, please. In response to the man's audibly distraught request, all Secret says is, "Of course." Once we step outside, Secret takes out a small canister before spraying himself with it. He then hands it to me, quickly following up with an explanation. It's a scented salve. So basically, it's the deodorant. It's more of a formality, since it doesn't eliminate all odor. There's some back in the office, so make sure to bring some with you next time. Okay. Alright. Got it. You're pretty talkative once you get outside of the temple. I wish you were like this all the time. Careful butts. Don't give me that look. I was just joking. Well, you can. Huh? Get your stuff together. It's about time. It's about time to head back. Head back. Despite my attempt at clearing the air between us, I have no chance against his innate cynicism. To be honest, I never feel awkward talking to him. Just bored. It's very different from how I feel talking to those two women from the cleanup department. With the two women, it's more like a one-sided awkwardness on my part. While Securate just acts like he's fed up with me. The discomfort only appears when I try to initiate conversation. I can tell he dislikes me by the way he's always showing around me. And yet he always seems to shut down our conversations in the vaguest of ways. I catch a whiff of the deodorant before Secret hands it to me. It's got a faint floral scent, maybe something more akin to the grass than flowers. Regardless, I've definitely smelled it before. I follow close behind him. Numerous complaints trickling through my head. And suddenly, pow! Something just hit me. The cold damp sensation that's quickly replacing the pain in my head makes it difficult for me to figure out what happened. The perfume from a moment ago is gone, replaced by a sour stench. You priests are disgusting. Incompetent pieces of shite who live up the backs of the poor, taxing them to death. How dare you show your faces here? Damn. I hear a gruff male voice from somewhere behind me. He sounds pissed. I slowly raise my hand, feeling around the back of my head. It seems like someone threw some kind of rotten fruit at me. My mind still can't seem to process what's happening. The man's now shouting at me. His words so slurred that I can't understand him anymore. So I can hear the malice in his voice. In an instant, the area around us turns into chaos, with onlookers whispering to each other furtively. Although no one wants to step forward and attract attention to themselves. I'm sorry you feel that way. Security steps forward before things get any worse. Your project, yep. Let me try. Security steps forward before things can get any worse. He approaches the nearby group of boys. His head bowed as if he dealt with the same situation many times before. I apologize for any inconvenience you've experienced due to our inadequacy. We'll make the genuine effort to ensure it doesn't happen again. Try harder. Try harder. My daughter's dead. Meanwhile, you sons of bitches just sit there flapping your lips. Stand by and watch people die, only interested in saving your own skin. As you lick the mud from the cardinal's boots. You're nothing more than shameless beggars. I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm truly sorry. The maggots wriggling in that old man's corpse are more pure than you bottom feeders will ever be. If you had even a trace of faith left, you know your very existence is an abomination to God himself. The man, breathing heavily, shoved Security before walking away. With the instigator gone, the crowd quickly disperses. Finally raises his head before brushing the dust from his clothes. When he turns to face me, the expression on his face is the same as well. Let's go. What? Oh, wait a minute. What was that all about? Positive love is this is exactly why it's best not to say or do anything outside of the temple. If you make eye contact with anyone, it's best to apologize right away. The folks around here are just looking for a fight. So don't give them an excuse to start one. Clear enough? That's not what I'm talking about. Though. Why were they so angry at us specifically? I've never seen them before in my life. I have no idea what kind of life you've been leading until now. But this place isn't like where you're from. You can't expect everyone to like you. That's true. And a lot of people are just looking for reasons to get mad, regardless of whether you deserve it or not. They're outraged just for the sake of it. That can't be right. How so? Maybe you can tell me what we did to make them angry then. Folks unhappy with the temple and current cardinal. A newly established department that seems suspiciously easy to get into for working conditions. Huh? The pieces are slowly beginning to come together. People seem to hold a deep grudge against the cleanup. Securate, who's a few steps ahead of me, remained silent. That's all the confirmation I need. If that's true, and it's clear the standards within our department are much lower than any other. We were told the disposal team was a necessity for our country, and now I'm beginning to understand why. Alright, now we get to the afternoon. I guess, maybe not. I've always wanted to work here. I've mentioned this countless times before, but if you don't think you can get used to this, you should find a different line of work. Honestly, you rookies have done such a shoddy job thus far that we'd be better off without you. The work is what it is, but that sarcasm of yours is the hardest to handle. Don't give people weird nicknames. Our schedule is a huge mess now, thanks to your rude behavior this morning. But since you don't even have wages to garnish due to your second-rate skills, I guess you're off the hook. Well, aren't you just a ray of sunshine? Hey, Securate, wait. Hearing a suspicious commotion, I stopped dead in my tracks, searching for the source of the noise. My eyes happened upon two kids who look to be the same age. I've seen them around the cleanup department a few times. I don't know their names, but the feeling I get from them is bad enough that it doesn't matter. They're hurling insults at each other, not enough for us to hear them clearly from this far away. Suddenly, one of them punches the other in the face. Come on, this is pretty messed up. Shouldn't we tell someone about this, like the bishop? What for? You really think tattling to the teacher will do anything? This is a temple, not a nursery school. What for? What do you mean? Violence shouldn't be acceptable under any circumstances. Well, already a lot of things are very, very different here, you know? That's the problem. This is the hill you want to die on? You seem like the type to poke your nose into places it doesn't belong. So I'll just tell you straight up. Those guys have never gotten along. And it's just not them. And it's not just them. This happens all the time. Everyone's here just looking for a fight. If they can settle their differences without getting others involved, then great. There's no need for unrelated parties to get dragged into someone else's mess. If you don't want to get involved with others people's messy affairs, then stop staring all the time and keep your eyes to yourself. Don't you think that's a little harsh? Geez, you know who you should. Geez, you know who you sound like. The chairperson who's always around. My job at the temple isn't to wipe the asses of idiots like you. With that said, security immediately turns its top off. I have no choice but to quickly follow. Although I can't stop staring at the two guys from it. While we're arguing, it seems like the fight between them got more serious. The guy on the right climbed at the top of the other, strangling him. Meanwhile, the other guy struggles to defend himself. His face a battered and bloody mess. A pool of blood is forming underneath him, and yet the only spectator to this combo seems to be me. The guy on the top raises his fist to rain a final blow down the guy below him. Below him, having long since stopped struggling. But suddenly he turns and looks directly at me. He's got a crazed look in his eyes like a madman. Hey, what are you staring at, you piece of shit? You got a death wish. What did I tell you? He's alright. He's lost his damn mind. People want it. The girl who pulled ahead of me looks back over his shoulder with a smirk, while delivering that parting shot. I find myself unable to stop looking back at the carnage behind us, despite there being nothing I can do about it. Finding myself once again struggling to breathe. I quicken my pace in an attempt to calm myself down. I gradually begin to feel calmer as we're near the showers. Okay, we're near the showers. Who would have ever thought I miss this damn human place? Meanwhile, the current slows down before stopping right behind. It's all over my clothes too. It can get a bit messy. Seriously, I hope the stench hasn't seeped into my hair. As I talk, I slowly unbutton the buttons confining in my cramped habit before stepping out of them entirely. After what happened, I don't want anything else touching my head. I carefully fold my cassock, looking so much like the shed exoskeleton of a bug, and toss it at Security. It's much heavier than it looks, and he staggers upon catching it, struggling to maintain his balance. Could you wash mine with yours? Huh? Why me? He's on the verge of complaining when he suddenly freezes, his eyes wide in surprise, wondering what he's looking at. I realize embarrassing enough that it's me. I usually kept both arms bandaged, mainly to hide my scars. They stand out in sharp relief of my dark skin. The dark lines, both thin and thick, are broken up into stripes, resembling protruding vessels. It doesn't really hurt, giving way under pressure, split to the touch. I've grown so used to them that I don't think about them anymore. But it always throws other people off when they see them for the first time. I'm just glad Claire didn't remove my bandages in the middle of the office. I've had them since I was young. I was always told I got them from a big accident. I was so young at the time I don't remember at all. Don't remember it all. Those are scars. Yeah, pretty cool. Really, you're going to question that? What? Back to his usually dull expression. He simply stares at my arms wordlessly, the corners of his eyes twitching faintly. Does he find it strange that he has any interest in me whatsoever? It's what's really strange, in my opinion. Don't need to take a shower. I'll wait until you're done. Fine. He awkwardly fiddles with my habit, as if lost in thought. And he rolls his eyes back. Eyes and looks back at me once more. I don't want to share the same water as you. His absent-minded expression seems at odds with his firm response. Jesus Christ, man. I thought it was odd, though I tried not to read too much into it. I'm equally put off by the prospect of being naked in the same room as him. That's well, whatever. Big Shade Skirt replies before I step into the shower alone. Someone's off in the corner, doping themselves up. Thankfully, they don't seem to care about it. A torrent of freezing water pours down on me. Strands of my wet hair cling to my fingers as I scrub my scalp. The contaminants that flake off melt away and vanish down the drain. With my head cooler than before, my thoughts turn back to what happened in the village and the anger felt by those who suffered over the loss of family members. They probably have a good reason for throwing trash and powerless breeze. Frustration over careless business practices and fear over the thought of their own eventual death. That would certainly be enough reason to mistreat a member of the disposal team. Which only serves to further emphasize the accurate skirt warning. Oh, testing a little bit. Alright, we're back at the temple lobby again. Back so soon. You must not have any friends, huh? Don't get the wrong idea. I'm just waiting for you because we have to go clean up the warehouse. Huh? There's still work to do. Didn't I tell you I'd be taking over some of your other educations once we got back? It's the first time I've heard of it. Are you serious? He told you, like, really? During day 2. That's what happens when you don't tell people what you're thinking. People nuts. Which is why I couldn't have you heading off just yet. That girl was supposed to be with us, but well, that didn't happen. I wish I could tell you no problem, but I'm really sorry to say that I already have plans with the bishop from the magic department. In fact, I'm supposed to meet with him as soon as we get back to the temple. Nah, I never heard anything about this. Because I hadn't told you. See, this is what happens when you don't tell people things ahead of time. You can't tag along if you don't believe me. The bishop from the cleanup department should be there too. Secret has been shooting me a dead glare. His brows furrowed. So he looks away before shaking his head. It seems there's some truth to the rumors. With the bishop clearly being a sore spot for him. Oh god, my arm is thumping right now at the moment. I don't know why. None of it matters to me at all. No, right now. From now on, if you have any other businesses that interferes with your work schedule, you tell me, understood? Sure, sure. Thanks, bunches. Not waiting for an answer, he turns and walks off back to the department office. I'm filled with distaste for him. No stronger than any other day. I watch him walk up for a moment before turning around in the opposite direction. Magic department office. Alright. Despite this being the first time I'm going to this first time I'm going to the magic department on my own, I managed to make it without getting lost. The prestige the department holds certainly held. The luxurious carpet free up thus the giant table in the center of the room. Okay, general in the center of the room, the overbearingly bright golden ornaments that perfectly contrast in the dark walls. Compared to the sterile cleanup department, the difference is enough to make you laugh out loud. A quick knock followed by come in. My mind conjures up images of an empty room, but a man answers in a firm voice, allowing me entry. The same guy, I think, or a different guy. He's sitting in a particularly high back chair, and despite the sudden appearance of a guest, remains motionless. His attention fixed on the papers in his hands. The man looks up, and upon seeing me, the stern scowl on his face softens. Oh, it's you. That's fine. Come on over. The heaviness in the air usually has a calming effect on me. Although in here, it feels more oppressive than usual. Pressing down on my soul for seemingly no reason at all. There's a bit of alternative. I find it hard to refer to the bishop, who looks almost toddler-esque in appearance as a man. Jesus. So, I don't want to say the word. I'm not gonna say it. Okay. While still living in my village, far outside the capital, he paid us a visit one day, out of the blue, which is when he first explained the curious nature of his appearance to me. For as long as I can remember, I heard that power. I heard that power powered from God always comes with significant price. This appearance is a direct result of this exchange. Isn't all that hard to fathom. Okay. So you're the uncle, right? I heard you arrived safely. You arrived safely. And yet this appears to be our first face-to-face meeting. Here it is, the other bishop. It's true. I wanted to come here straight away, but I was dumped in a different apartment without a single explanation. That wasn't a deal, right? Do you know what's going on? I guess I didn't tell you anything, huh? You see, the disposal team you belong to was originally affiliated with the magic department. We used to work together. Words are not enough, but essentially, it would have been unusual for the magic department, which prides itself on only employing those with strong bloodlines and connections. Taking an outsider who doesn't even know the capital's geography. I figured this way, the appropriate protocols will be met, but are you unhappy with your position? I mean, it is the disposal team. Don't get me wrong. Leaving you in that vileness of inbreds brings me no great joy. Brings me no great joy. But unfortunately, that's how it goes sometimes. So I hope their vulgar behavior doesn't wash off on you. Well, I take it you don't like the cleanup department that much. I utterly despise them. Not like any of them are worth my time, of course. I'm too busy to be bothered by their mere existence. Please don't misunderstand me though. I don't tend to ostracize people based on my personal bias towards them. Everything happens for a reason, you understand? Despite his arrogant tone and conservative manner, his inclination toward talking about people behind their backs makes him sound like the department girls engaging in gossip. Very true. Why are you staring at me like that? Have something you'd like to say? Not really. Well, aside from wondering why you enjoy looking like a child. But there's something you want desperately. You're willing to pay whatever price is necessary to get it. That side effects of such mean I now defy the passage of time forever. In other words, you're going backwards. Exactly. Well, almost. You're pretty sharp. Hmm. Just as I thought. My hunches are never wrong. The only kind of adult you should look up to is one who ends every thought praising themselves. What's this? It's already been about a week, huh? You have until your rite of ordination to learn all about the temple and its geography. Get accustomed to carrying out your job smoothly and taking as much as you can from my dear aunt. That's all. Anything other than that is unimportant. Wow. I heard you're a pretty important person around here. And yet, this seems like an incredibly kind gesture. What's really going on? As I said when we first met, the continuation of the magic department depends on you. What's important for now is getting you in. Once that happens, as long as you maintain an exemplary record and gather a large flock of believers, your partner, Arn, will take care of the rest. Wait, hold on a minute. Partner? Like married spouse? Of course. You really are quick to pick up on things. The reason why the Alternatas have maintained such an exalted position throughout the history is because of our divine power, far stronger than any other. And that power flows through your veins. I'm not sure what you mean. I only have two stigmata. I'm referring to the potential that currently lies dormant within you. The potential. I was wondering what was going on, and it turns out to be more ridiculous than I was prepared. I'm the one who blindly accepted an invitation by a total stranger and came here. Of my own free will, without asking even one single question about it. And I put my entire life on the line for a reckless gamble is, in itself, pretty ballsy. But I guess this also means the magic department's continued existence is on the line. While everything you've said sounds promising so far, how can you be sure I'll agree to doing any of this? The possibility of you turning down my offer. Interesting. I'm the one who stuck my neck in order to bring you here. No one would be foolish enough to complain about being handed a free ride. His commanding tone of voice echoes loudly in the room. My sense of obligation growing heavier along with it. I'm pretty pissed about a number of things, but if I can control my anger, everything ends here. I see. Thanks, Bishop. So I'll take that to mean I'm free to wander around the temple grounds whenever I want. Let's not overcomplicate things. I, Ursabet, Alternata, grant you permission to come and go as you please. With that said, the temple is not without its fair share of eccentrics, shall we say. You do well not to get involved in their affairs. Now then, is there a special spot you have in mind? Not exactly. It seems like there are many interesting places throughout the temple. Like the training room, for example, or the infirmary or the library. Do not mingle with the unhealed patients in the infirmary. Your slothfulness will cause your senses will cause your own senses to dull. The library, however, it's true that you clearly lack in knowledge regarding the capital, and it's important that you make up for it. However, the academics have an inclination for writing poetry. So keep on your toes. Poetry. Perhaps I was a bit too vague. So let me try again. Put simply, they've all got a screw or two. The academic department is like a den of snakes. Otherwise, Sam, as I mentioned previously, start forming a closer relationship with Mark. I'll be sure to do that. That's what I want to hear. Now then, it's about time you were off. Seemingly satisfied with my answer, he once again picks up his fingers. Love one another, as God loves you. Alright. Now we get some choices, I think. Apple garter. I strain to keep a smile on my face, the corners of my mouth quivering, until the door is shut behind me. I finally let out the bread I was holding. He might look like an adorable young boy, but hidden inside is an absolutely heartless old geezer. Dang, sounds like Xehanort. Kidding. Oh gosh, there you are. I've been looking all over for you. As I live out dragging my tired feet behind me, I find myself greeted familiarly by a rather tall man. Did we just meet yesterday? Why were you looking for me? I heard you had a meeting with the bishop, right? You just looked a lot about everything yesterday. So I was really worried about you. Looks like you're all done then. A one-on-one meeting with the bishop must have been rough. And he seems to really like you, Belial. Honestly, just thinking about it makes my stomach turn. Seriously. To be honest, I'm still trying to wrap my head around everything. It's hard for me to feel proud about any of this when I'm not sure if this benefits me in any way. I think it should be okay. So I really had no idea what I was getting myself into. And you share this magical bloodline is all that really matters. Whether you believe it or not, divine power chose you. Magic literally runs through your veins, Belial. As long as it's not Magic the Gathering. Oh boy. Which is why you gotta make sure your actions and behavior reflect that power. Speaking of which, I heard you snap at Lady Clyon this morning. How did you know about that? Word spreads fast in the temple, especially when it comes to Claire. She can strip a person down in seconds, figuratively and literally. But she loves hanging out here. In fact, she's probably still around somewhere. So, did you need me for something? Are you really looking for me because you're worried? Or is this about something else? Well, actually, I wanted to apologize about how I treated you yesterday. You've got it all wrong, though. I'm not a heartless jerk. I hope you can believe me. It's just... No need to stress, just tell me what's up. As I wait for his answer, my eyes scan his face silently, looking for a sign. Constantly reading people's expressions is starting to get exhausting. That is true. That is very true. That is very true. Even Oh, it is harder, by the way. Digital life is also harder, even harder. He still seems distressed over the incident from the other day. I can tell from the way he touches his neck, and it's been preying on his mind that he feels embarrassed about it. He briefly lowers his gaze as he chooses his words peacefully, carefully. Why am I getting peacefully at? Then as if making up his mind, he clears his throat and opens his mouth to speak. So, I'm sorry for answering a question with a question, but if I may ask, what's your honest opinion honest opinion of my older sister? I definitely wasn't expecting that. My answer quickly springs to mind. Oh God. All right, this is our first different choice. I will check each one of them later. Uh, let's go with every choice anyway. I like her. Because I'm interested in how it goes. I mean, you mean Arnie? I like her a lot. She's a really good person. She seems bewildered for a moment at my answer before beaming at me happy. I only talked to her for a brief moment, but that was more than enough to get a read on her character. She's the type of person who gets along with everyone and who is seemingly impossible to hate. I still have my doubts about the crude bishop. And while he is pretty gross, none of his personality seems to have wrap up on her. Oh yeah? Well, great. And of course she's great. Honestly, I was prepared to beat you to a pulp if you said even one bad word about her. No violence, please. I'm just joking. Take good care of her, okay? Also, I don't mind if you start referring to me as your big brother. Huh? Why? Well. I'm just playing with you. Thanks, bro. Ew. As your sister, you must know her pretty well, right? I may not know everything about Arn, but I know plenty. Well, oh yeah? Well, I still don't know anything about her. And we're gonna get married, huh? I'm still pretty lukewarm about the whole thing, to be honest. Marriage isn't something I've ever really thought about. And frankly, it's not really something I want any part of. And of course, my opinion on the matter hasn't changed. Even now, thinking about it brings a question to mind. Does she know about any of this? She know about any of this? Was she so nice to me the other day because she knew? And if so, what does she think about me? As thought of her fill my mind, I find myself growing slightly more depressed. Speaking of which, I was thinking of paying her a little visit. That's a great idea. She was really worried about you, too, Belial. If I'm going to untangle my feelings for her, it will probably help to go talk to her in person. Now then, where should I go? Okay, there's like a lot. Now, let's check the other choices. Let's see what it's about. I'm not sure if the choices were really mattering, but we'll see. Let's see. I'm not sure yet. This is a weird question. Do you have a thing for it? That's a weird fucking question. I'm not sure yet. How I feel about your sister? Well, truth to be told, truth be told, I'm not sure yet. I'm not the one to form an opinion on someone I just met yesterday. His face darkened slightly on my response. He seems like a really nice person. I certainly don't hate her, but I don't like her either. To be fair, right now all I can picture is the face of the bishop, who I'm already pretty fed up with. Oh yeah? He hesitantly makes eye contact with me, as if aware of the situation. You seem different from yesterday. Did something happen? Well, actually a lot has happened, but I'm not sure if I feel comfortable talking about it. Maybe I'm just exhausted from working all day. I guess I don't seem like someone you can trust. Huh? I mean, I only just met you yesterday, right? Hmm. Okay. Same thing. Making sure there's nothing. Trying to shake off the annoyance that's slowly creeping over me. I have a bad habit of losing myself in my thoughts when I'm in a bad mood. I don't want to see anyone, not even art. I just want to go somewhere quiet where I can be alone, so I can cool down while filing my already chaotic thoughts with matters that have nothing to do with me. Like that so-called den upstairs. I'm not trying to force you to do anything you don't want to, but just know that if you ever need help, I'm always around. Appreciate it. Huh? You're a better person than you look, bro. I get that a lot. Now then, where should I go? Yep, this is different, by the way. So we get different choices for each day. Might as well, like, part by part, dignify this. So, like, what am I saying? Part by part, check on this. So, this might be a long day, a little bit, but I'm just going to prepare that things just to save you some time. Probably I'll do like day 3 of the very top option for now, and then we'll check the other options under the next part before proceeding to day. Like probably halfway. So let's load on this. What happens with the other choice? Do you have a thing for her? Oh, what did he say? No, what? How could you? Absolutely not. My answer causes him to practically jump out of his skin and shock. But his over-the-top expression means I hit the jackpot. I feel my formerly grumpy mood vanish. His unexpected reaction bringing a smile to my face. Really? So you hate her then? Well, of course I don't. I mean, that's not important. I don't appreciate you talking about my sister like that. She deserves way more respect. Maybe this is a matter of cultural difference, but she's too good of a person to be referred so crudely. Your sister is really that sweet. Then instead of arguing with random strangers, maybe you should spend more time with her, big bro. I never gave you permission to call me that. Don't tell me you were this rude in front of the bishop. You despise impertinence more than anything in the world. The other day, one of the priests didn't reference his title when addressing it. He was fired on the spot and sent back to where he came from. Guys are rude. Don't I know it? He really is an overly sensitive monster. Anyway, no matter how far you've come, come to me here. There's a certain way of doing things that you must adhere to. Each department has a hierarchy, and you must always consider your place in every interaction. If you're not familiar with the way we speak here, then study harder. Also, I'm more happy to help if you want. What? What? I've been speaking the language here just fine. Huh? Look, I get it. Look, I get it. So what you're saying is the bishop of the magic department is an irredeemable old fart. And Big Brother Enoch wants to stand out in his big sister's eyes by pretending to be nice to the rookie who arrived yesterday. What? No, don't worry. From now on, I'll be sure to that everyone knows how much I look up to you, dear Enoch. So don't be hard on me, big brother of mine. You're sounding just like that bishop you love so much. So what do you mean? What exactly do you mean by that? Stop coming up with weird nicknames for me without asking my permission first. Finally, stop using his excellency's name as an insult. Take this guy so insecure that I fear for his future brings back memories of my village. I have a tendency to irritate everyone with my smart aleck remarks. I never meant anything bad by what I said, though. The person I used to be would never have imagined mocking someone's misfortune or taking cheap shots at someone's insecurities. Which is why I'm a little shocked at myself. I am grateful to Enoch though for providing me with a pleasant little distraction. Of course, I'll be sure to keep that in mind for next time. Now, if you'll excuse me. Whoa, hold on, don't go yet. Now then, who should I share this good mood with? Not that jerk who looks down on me. How about someone who knows Enoch well and enjoys talking with me? I feel a spring in my step as an image of a kind, brown-haired teacher comes to mind. Waving at me fondly. Okay, it's Gret. So each choices do have different one as a different choice. Now then, where should I go? Yep. So this one also the same, except this one is infirmary. Now it's time to save. So the other one is workplace library, workplace infirmary, and the other one is the training ground. So we're gonna go with this one first. So yeah, these two choices are always different, depending on the choice you get. So for the meantime, even though I might repeat some dialogues again, but just for a refresher, I will check every choice on each of those choices. For later, I will save like third day for that before proceeding to like fourth day. Let's see what's Flower Gardens about on this choice. Flower Garden. When all said and done, and they spent all day running around looking for me means I'm clearly on his mind. When all said and done, that he spent all day running around looking for me means I'm clearly on his mind. It's impossible to ignore that kind of goodwill, regardless of the reasoning behind it. And besides, I'm the only one who misses out by dwelling in this depressive state forever. I have to get a grip and make sense of this mess. Closing my eyes, I lightly slap both of my cheeks. Now then, having organized the department office, all that left is tidying up the warehouse. In other words, Secret will most likely be locked up in that warehouse for the rest of the day, choking on dust. Interesting. Meaning I will have to see his lousy face until tomorrow. meaning a temporary break from his constant critiques. When it comes to relaxing, there's nothing more better than a breath of fresh air. It's much better than the musty warehouse or those moldy dorms. Maybe I'll even bump into someone who has the same affliction as me. Priests still go about the temple in a hurry, their job still unfinished. I let myself get swept away by the stream of people walking to and fro, while trying not to get in their way. And before I know it, I'm heading down a familiar path toward the flower garden. I catch a whiff of the refreshing scent of freshly watered flowers. This is one of the this is one of only a few places around the temple where you can enjoy the fresh air. And yet, not too many folks stop by here. They're too busy to care about frivolous things, like flowers and plants. Coming out here to cool my head, I always feel like I'm escaping the temple's cramped confines. I brush past a rose that's hanging from the trellis, causing a small pool of rainwater that had built up within the pillow to splash down on me. Though the rain seemed to fall endlessly all morning, has stopped. The sky all morning has stopped. The sky remains just as gloomy. Yeah. I mean, right now, I thought it would be all sunny now, by the way, and it's gloomy here as well, reality. Probably due to the ever-present polar night. Well, not like that. Please. But reality anyway. Still, Maya's beloved flowers will wither and die away if they don't get some sunlight too. Some sunlight soon. As I gaze off into the distance, thoughts idly swirling through my head. I take in the entire garden. Me. From within the familiar trees and familiar flowers, I spot a head of unfamiliar hair. It's Claire, and next to her is Maya. Suddenly call out to her. Hearing my voice, the two girls turned their attention toward me. What are you doing over there, Belial? You took the words out of my mouth. You took the words out of my mouth. I thought you'd already left for the day. I know they heard me, but neither girl responds right away. I can see them talking quietly to one another, but they're too far away from me to hear anything. As I awkwardly wait for them to finish their private conversation, Claire, who appears so much smaller at the distance, waves me over. As I get closer, I realized they were sitting in white chairs, facing each other. If you want it, you have to take it. Since Maya only ever seems to sit on one particular bench. I didn't realize there were two chairs tucked away in the corner of the rose garden, with a small table between them. What might have once been an outdoor terrace is now just an abandoned garden, overgrown with weeds and vines. It goes without saying there's no tea or cake. The table is a simple affair, stained here and there with water spots from the rain. And yet Claire's presence grants it an air of elegance. You're the last person I'd expect to see in a place like this. What brings you here at this hour? Shouldn't you be working? It's lunchtime, so trainees like me are off the clock for now. Oh, it's already that late? My word, is that so? I was having such a great chat that I lost track of the time. I'm not ready to say goodbye, my dear Sweet Maya. Hey, Sweet Maya. I guess they did look pretty chummy when I saw them this morning. Do you two go way back or something? No. But we're just acquaintances. That's all. I can see Maya not noticeably shrink. Put off guard by my comment. As timid as always, he seems to be feeling out of clear to be feeling out clear, not wanting to overstep any boundaries. I only met my dear sweet Maya today. In fact, just this morning. I arrived a little before most folks in the cleanup department arrived to start work. I had to help sort out supplies first, you see. He came here that early. Then Maya must have had to get up before the sun did. I'm used to it. I've always been an early riser. Ha! I used to get up that early back in my hometown. So then, you sleeping in late today was a one-off. Nope. I've never been a stickler for routines. A person who doesn't follow the rules of the place they live in. Wow, you're such a free spirit. Nah, I definitely got in trouble for that. But for a hard worker like you to come here so early in the morning. And you're a guest, meaning you must have had a lot further to travel, right? What time did you wake up? That's all true. So I actually came here even earlier than you. You did? Why is that? It should be obvious. I was excited to meet you. The marvelous, mysterious outsider. Me? Go gaga. Just kidding. Of course. Hailing from far outside the capital, a small island in the far north that's said to be as hot as countries in the exotic east. So little is known about it. Various organizations and scholars visit regularly to confirm its history. A lot of dreams and adventures, overflowing with possibilities. Upon hearing that you came from such a place, I simply had to speak to you right away. I'm definitely not from this island she's talking about. Jeez. Who would even start such a rumor? I want to say something, but her eyes are sparkling somehow, even more excitedly than this morning. Is her overbearing attitude really nothing more than pure curiosity? Which is why I want to apologize for how rude I was this morning. Again, I'm truly sorry. Look, it's fine. I feel bad for shouting at you the way I did. It's been weighing on my mind all day, so I'm glad I was able to apologize, no matter how short it might have been. Claire giggles at my response. She's a whirlwind of emotions, switching from sullen to satisfied in a heartbeat. At any rate, if you hadn't been so outstandingly late, you might have started off on the right foot this morning. So that's how you ended up attached to Maya. We started the same day I did, yeah? That's not entirely true. Although to be fair, the reason why I chose Maya isn't that complicated. Basically, she was the cutest person there. What? Yep, that makes perfect sense. Stop teasing me, you two. I'm not teasing you in the slightest. I thought you were adorable from the moment I laid eyes on you. With those soft peach-colored curls, you're barely as round as your head, wearing the type of ruffled skirt that's so fashion right now in the capital. Oh, and a slender build that makes you look younger than your age. Plus those sad eyes of yours that make you look as adorable as a fragile baby animal. You're amazingly observant to see all that in a single glance. Maya's face turned redder with each word, and she hangs her head, clearly very, very embarrassed. No matter how much you flatter her, that spot next to her is reserved for me. Ridiculous. But dear sweet Maya, who do you like more? Please, just knock it off already. No way, this is a serious matter, sweetie. Serious matter. Sweetest Maya. It's not for you to clap off work, correct? Why don't we go see a movie together? Come on. It's called Flowers in the Attic. It's a romantic horror film about the forbidden love affair between two siblings. Huh. It's directed by a cinematic legend. It's known for some of the best-selling masterpieces in the capital. I'm sure you've heard about it, right? Eh. Oh, right. I've heard of it. I didn't realize it came out already. I've learned the words before I can stop myself. It's impossible to grow up without fascination about the capital, especially since it produces so much of all available entertainment that it almost seems like the center of the world itself. Being in the middle of nowhere meant information was scant and hard to come by, though not impossible to collect. I learned what I could from soldiers on patrol and scholars passing through. And so, enthralled by every scrap they threw my way, I grew up enthralled by the magical, distant place. You've seen other movies by that director before, Belial? I grew up in a town so backwoods that we didn't even have radios, let alone a movie theater, so no, I haven't seen any. But I'm familiar with the plots. I read through the entire library of their works. That's one about the husband who falls in love with a girl while on a business trip, right? Good season, right? That one's truly a masterpiece. It ended up being delayed due to production issues, but the twist they threw in was wilder than anyone expected. Right. It is a fair partner thought his wife was just a friend though, the whole time. A simple misunderstanding ending in tragedy and the delayed release. It felt like the film vanished from theaters overnight. And alright. Though to be fair, I've been distracted by another movie that came out at the same time. Maybe you've heard of it. Indeed I have. Well, I read the plot, though to be honest, I thought it was terrible. With shining. You know what? That's a perfect topic for later. Right, exactly. You've got a pretty good sense for this kind of thing. There's no way a work of that caliber should have been buried in obscurity by a popcorn thriller. Designed to sell tickets, but well, true genius is never understood in its own time. We gave each other a very high five, with her hands so much smaller than mine. The sound of our hands slapping together is less lighthearted than I expected. I never thought I'd share a conversation like this with anyone. Please, don't just stand there, Belial. Have a seat. Make yourself cozy. It's a little late for that, isn't it? Also, there's only 2 chairs. In that case, I'll make room for you by sitting on my dear sweet Maya's lap, I believe. Killing 2 birds with 1 stone fits the situation perfectly. What? I believe Stable the tongue would work in this situation as well. Don't put poor Maya on the spot. Should I leave? No, I wouldn't have come all the way out here if it wasn't for you, Maya. That's right. I'd have no reason to stay here alone with this fine gentleman if you weren't here. Triple Butts. You have a favorite movie, Maya? Me? No. Sorry. I don't know much about them. I've never really had a chance to watch any. Oh yeah? I guess there's not a lot of cinemas outside of the capital. I guess music is what most kids our age are into nowadays. I do have a passing interest in it. No matter what you ask, the singer representing the capital at the moment is Miss Galaxia. Her bold yet sensitive lyrics, written all by herself, speaks directly to the younger generation, captivating them. She's a famous musical actress as well. A musical? You mean the thing with the steak sandwich? I knew you'd know what I was talking about, Belial. It was featured on the lunch menu as well. It's better as a breakfast meal. Wouldn't it taste exactly the same? But musicals are certainly not everyone's cup of tea. But I'm sure you'd fall in love with them if you saw a couple of mine. Let me see if I can try to explain. So the female protagonist starts off only liking ham sandwiches, and this is really frustrating. I feel like if I try explaining the whole thing to you, it will lose everything that makes it hilarious. You gotta see it for yourself. I'll take you to go see it whenever you have some free time. With Maya. I don't really know much about musicals, but I have a feeling it's not something that has repeat performances. Sorry for interrupting your fun conversation. No need to apologize all the time. There must be something you like, right? They looked at it a little bit and then that's it. 6 dots after looking a bit. Our conversation devolves into silence. Claire's trying to think of a new topic. Trying to think of a new topic of conversation. It seems to coming up blank. Yeah, they're a little worried now. I can't think of anything Maya likes aside from flowers and animals. But the main point is, how can we bring her out of her shell to break this silence as quickly as possible? Oh hey, wanna see something cool? Wanna see a magic trick? Something cool. It's just a simple mind reading trick. Who should I try it on? Oh gosh, me. Pick me. You have a piece of paper and a pen by chance. Of course we don't have anything up the. It's a mail pad, okay. Great. Now Claire, I'm going to ask you 3 questions. So it's going to be like the math question, where it's going to be like, is this the number you're thinking? I'm going to ask you 3 questions. I want you to think of the answer without saying it out loud. And I'll write it down on this piece of paper. My answer pretty sharp, Belial. So you better not try writing all the answers down at the end. My job is to help make sure I don't cheat, so no need to worry. Okay, think about the month. Think about what month you were born. This is how they trick naive girls into giving out personal information. You have a great taste in movies, but maybe you should consider cutting back on fiction a bit. And if I did so, you'd be the one languishing in sorrow. I'm truly honored you feel that way about me. Maya has a look of doubt on her face as she as she keeps an eye on the piece of paper. With her right beside me, it should be easy as pie to trick her. So I hope I can pull it off. Now tell me your answer. It's August. The same as mine. Being a summer child is pretty sad, especially in the capital where it's always cold. I wish I could experience a true summer one year. Feel it can be tough on folks from the capital. Are you sure you could handle it after being spoiled by a good family? What month were you born in, Mike? Me? I was born in Shepherdwood, so that would be 5. So that would be 5. Spring, huh? So lucky. Spring conjures up images of beauty and warmth, just like you, sweet Maya. You consider May to be spring. Well, it's certainly not summer. In Philippines, it is actually considered summer, despite the 2 seasons all it has. So that's the funny thing. With quotations by them. Because it's always supremely hot. Next question. The day you were born naturally. Give me 5 seconds. No need to rush. 3, 2, 1. I was born on the 10th. I'm on the 9th. If I'd born a little faster, we might have shared birthdays so close. That's not my fault. But that means that must mean our parents must have. Oh my, on almost the same day. Last question. Last but not least, please. You pick. Which do you like more, cats or dogs? This one is a bit more challenging, as befitting the final question. You go first this time, Maya. I think I like both of them equally. That's my answer. And I love my dear sweet Maya. 6 studs. Me too, but I need you to pick an answer from the choices I gave you. This is hard, but I think I made up my mind. Tell me your answer and I'll show you what I wrote at the same time. You seem confident. I like cats the best. I like cats the best. I hold out the 3 pieces of paper. Each with an answer to one of my questions. August 9, cats, and every single one was correct. Claire looks as surprised as a newborn kitten, but I exchange an awkward glance with Maya. All I did was change the order of the notes. Her expression of amazement seems natural, and up in the face of such an outrageously candid trick. I feel oddly embarrassed despite knowing that's how magic works. That was really amazing. How did you do it? A magician never reveals his secret. So I'm sure if you think about it, you'll understand how it works. That's a trick. I must practice tricks like this all the time. Well, there's not much to do where I come from. So I spent a lot of time imitating folks printed in old magazines and the adults around me. As you can see, I'm pretty good with my hands. If I had a rope or something, I'd be able to show you much cooler tricks. Well, I hope that rope is not something else, you know. I'm going to learn some magic tricks, too. You have to come and see me perform, my dear sweet Maya. Sure, I can't wait. Gee, you two have so much to talk about. Because we both like a lot of the same things. I'm just as surprised as you are, honestly. I've never met anyone I can talk to as easily as him. We certainly have a lot in common. I'm a cat person too. I kind of had a feeling you were. There you go. Once again, taking the words for a lot. The village I grew up in is filled with cats and birds, so I've been around cats most of my life. So it's not like I miss them. It's probably because cats are very territorial creatures. Never tried to steal anything from them. Maya who's been listening silently to our conversation, begins fidgeting with her hands underneath the table before suddenly getting to her feet. I'm going to head back. Huh? You're leaving already? Yeah. I'm kind of tired. Try not to stay too much later, Claire. Oh wait, Maya, I'll head back with you. Whatever you want. Without waiting for a response, she begins walking off, leaving the two of us still sitting there. My heart beats a little faster with each step Maya takes, gradually increasing the distance between us. Well, I guess that's our signal to call it a night for now. Looks like that way. I had a lot of fun today. I look forward to seeing you again. Likewise, I had a blast. Thanks so much. I'm sure I'll see you around. I'm glad we finally got to engage in a proper goodbye. Although I'm worried about Maya heading off on her own. So wait, is this going to be night already? If I don't hurry, I won't be able to catch up. As if noticing my impatience to be off. She climbs down from the chair, so much taller than herself. Her smile never leaving her lips. I'm heading toward the main entrance, which is in the opposite direction from you two. Oh yeah? You seem to know your way around the temple around the way around the temple better than I do. That's right, and the reason why is none of your business. Well, excuse me for snooping. Contrary to my concern, Claire seems to be enjoying the situation, most likely because of her inclination toward gossiping. I hope this doesn't lead to any weird misunderstandings. Keep working hard. Further. I hurry up, leaving our final goodbye behind us, running as fast as I can. I'm quickly able to catch up to Maya. She looked over at me, seemingly unsure of what to say. She's walking slower than usual, but she doesn't stop. I walk beside her, matching my pace with hers. You're a good guy, Belle. Before I can say anything, Maya breaks the silence, staring at the ground in front of her. I honestly hadn't expected her to speak first. And it makes my full sprint to get here all the worthwhile, okay? You have the ability to get along with anyone. I'm kind of jealous. I'm happy you think that way. But it helps that I had such a nice person to talk to like Claire. Yeah? I assume she was just a spoiled, stubby rich girl. I never thought I'd be able to have such a great conversation with her. It's great we share a lot of the same hobbies. I hear what she said after you left. What did she say? You see, actually, never mind. The more I think about it, the weirder it seems to tell you. Not that it's anything weird. I'll tell you later. Maybe we can go see that movie Claire mentioned together. You want to go with me? I don't know anything about it. I'll fill you in on anything you need to know. I really think you'll enjoy it. Though I know, without a doubt, that cigarette jerk will have a problem with it. I wonder if I should invite him along. But but as I said once myself, he can be a bit much. Triple butts. Again. As I fool around, laughing to myself, my hand suddenly stops. It was so it was so unexpected that I had already taken a few steps before I realized she was no longer beside me. She's pretty quiet and very bad at expressing eh, very bad at expressing herself. But Maya also isn't one to ignore other people when they're talking to her, which means she's clearly upset about something. Like when they return to where she's standing, the expression on her face is one I've never seen before. Her sudden uninvitingly dark eyes turns on me. Her cool gaze almost piercingly sharp. You're so insensitive, Belle. Her words come through crystal clear, but I can't make heads or tails of them. Tails of them. With that said, she resumes walking faster than before. I watch her small back get further and further away with each step, but I know I shouldn't chase her after her this time. Left behind all alone, I simply stand there, watching in bewilderment as she enters the dorms without incident. Did I offend her in some way? Not sure what just happened. The more I think about her parting shot at me, the angrier I get. Okay, we can still check. This will be a long episode, so I'll be splitting this into like two parts and then we'll proceed to like day four. Anything else? Or maybe I'll just proceed into one route first so I don't get like. You know what? That's going to be. I guess. I'm just gonna say at this point. Maybe I'll just do that. I think I already showed like everything at least. Like the other choices first, but for a meantime, maybe I'll just proceed one route for now. Training grounds. See, training grounds. I come to the training room to see her. And as I stand before the door, my memories of yesterday come back to me. All those eyes on me, cautious, wary. The voice that suddenly resounded. It wasn't to the point of being dramatic, but the experience did leave a deep impression on me. The door is just as big as the rest of the building. I'm not sure where to put my hand. Also, it's noisy outside. I doubt anyone would hear me if I knock. In the end, I'm at a loss. On a whim, put my ear up to the door, figuring I try to guess how many people are inside. As I listen to the faint voices on the other side, the heavy door suddenly opens. Surprised, I step back, seeing a priest standing there alone. Um, Crap. He's gonna be suspicious of me since he caught me like that. Surprisingly though, the priest's voice is bright and clear, despite the veil over his face. Lord Belial, we've been waiting for you. Wait, you have? Indeed, we have, young man. Lady Arn is in the back. I'll show you to her. Huh? Wasn't this guy one of the ones gossiping about me yesterday while I was standing right in front of him? Still suspicious, I follow him as once again all of the clergy folk around us stop in their tracks. The mood, however, is entirely different from the previous time this happened to me. I hear no voices at all. Instead, every time I look at someone, they only offer a silent bow. Is it because of how she yelled at them? The sudden change in their attitude is too awkward to even think about. So I set my eyes ahead and walk straight without looking at anyone. Eventually, my eyes meet with Arnie's. I stop in front of her, in the center of the unspeaking onlookers. It makes me feel strangely nervous, unlike yesterday. It's like this whole thing is a scene in a stage play, orchestrated by some invisible director. The director is the uncle. I think, was it uncle? Try to remember. Good morning, Brother Bell. It is truly an honor to be able to meet you again. Well, it seems like you're busy. I feel kind of bad for interrupting, just like yesterday. The long eyelashes ringing her eyelids move up and down. Move up and down. The expression on her immaculate face seemed troubled somehow. In general, those of the magic department give group action the utmost importance. I sincerely apologize for not being able to make time for you individually. Hey, no need for apologies. It's my fault for coming by to hang out. Would you mind waiting for a short while? I shall prepare some tea forthwith and no, you seem busy, so I'm just going to watch you work for the day. But I said don't worry about it. After all, this is what a trainee is supposed to do, right? I tried to put all my energy into my replies, but she still looks unconvinced as she glances between me and the other clergy folk. And seeming to make up her mind, she looked straight at me. Understood. However, I would ask that you remain by my side, unless I am personally giving an example to them. Huh? You mean you want me to watch everyone drink? Yes, I do. Well, that's fine by me. I just hope I don't get in the way. Your consideration for my unconscionable words is much appreciated. Aunt Alternata, the eldest daughter of the Alternata family, a famous one in the capital. She studies of Erzsébet, the main bishop of the magic department, and works as an auxiliary bishop alongside her younger brother, Enoch Apis. That's pretty much all I know about her. And yet, I'm engaged to her. Is this some awful capital prank? I'm too rustic to understand. It's something the matter. Oh, just wondering, where's Enoch at? He has not yet arrived. He must be working on a different task. He has the most freedom of anyone serving the magic department. Yeah, this place does seem different compared to the other departments. And he's an auxiliary bishop. Bishop, huh? That's funny. Brother Bell, have you exchanged words with Enoch elsewhere? I mean, yeah, but just a little before I came. Ah, so I see. Why? I apologize. I was just happy that the two of you have gotten to know each other better. What? Me and him? The way you speak of him shows that you have gotten closer. Oh, I see. Unlike me, Enoch has excellent people skills, and is the optimal person for talking to others. Keep him at your side, for I'm sure he will be a boon to you, brother. Speaking honestly, you would have a good influence on him as well. You mean me and him making friends? That I do. He visited our family when he was very young. I was the same age at that time. He helped me in many things. Even after his coming of age ceremony, he followed me straight to this temple to continue supporting me. In that time, not once has he expressed any dissatisfaction towards me. But he is originally someone who highly regards deepening bonds in relationships. He says his life here isn't suffocating, though I suspect that it's probably a white lie meant to comfort me, as well as others. Huh. That is why I believe talking to someone as free spirited as you will have a positive effect on him. You really like him, huh? Of course. He's my family, and I'm proud of that. Not only is he important to our, she's proud of him. I never once felt that way toward my own family. I love my family enough, but the one I'm proud of is myself. For not letting my mind be sullied by old-fashioned traditions. I'm self-centered, and they're so upright and adhere to the rules. Wouldn't I be more like a poison than an aid? And the way I perceive it, Enoch is really proud of being able to be with you. Truly. So I think he'd be surprised to hear you feel the same way. You're such a good family. What are you saying? Aren't you also family, Brother Bell? Me? I suddenly get goosebumps. But they're not the pleasant, revolted kind. That's how I felt all day. So I know right away this is a different feeling entirely. Feels like a frost has come over my heart and spine. That isn't at all like the goosebumps I got before. Just as I tried to ask her the question, two priests approached and bowed to greet Irony. Have they finished up? Good work. Both of your skills have improved much. Despite how few words she uses, the priest's faces light up. Then one at a time, she explained things like their posture, breathing, and motions. The two priests nod one after another as they mimic the way Arlie moves her arm and legs, showing that they're really listening. I noticed you pull your left ankle back just for a moment. Did you push yourself too hard during your work this morning? I quickly lose interest in what they're saying and stop listening. But those words shock me. She's been talking to me the whole time. When did she have time to even see that? Eventually, the two priests part ways. And yet, when I look closely, they seem to be bowing in my direction as well. Embarrassed at having quietly withdrawn before, I find myself lowering my own head to them. Pardon me for interrupting our conversation. Arnie, you're amazing. Are you watching them while talking to me? Of course. Even while training, they are passionate, earnest, and serious about sparring. The least I can do in return is to be just as serious with them. Huh. It goes for you too, Brother Bell. You came here to speak with me, and not to anyone else. Not to anyone else here. I cannot allow myself to miss even a single syllable of what you're saying. I mean, I also still try that anyway. Having multiple attention, so I can relate to that. It's great that a lot of people are interested in you and support you, but doesn't it ever get difficult to handle? I am yet inexperienced, but if I receive their support out of necessity, should I not be thankful for it? If you're doing two things at once like this, don't you still have to prioritize things? Yes, I do. What's the priority order usually like? I would say that in this training room, the priorities in order are everyone's safety, the morale of the priest, and then the training itself. Oh, so raising morale is pretty high up on your list. Yes, improving physical abilities is important. So just to make sure that you didn't miss that, say, yep. Improving physical abilities is important, but maintaining one's mental fortitude is even more so, especially with magic. Mental power. If one's focus wanes or one's self-esteem lessens, that will naturally lead to a neglect of training. Well, not. I guess no matter what it is, you gotta have the enthusiasm. Is that why she prioritized me, the sudden guest, yesterday? The priest probably can't focus on training with me being an unknown outsider to them. She's a wise person. She answers all my questions, as though she already had the answers, and everyone's does she seemed flustered. Well then, if you had to pick between Enoch and me, who would you choose? I'm not sure why I asked that completely wild question. I should have just made a little joke like I always do. But now everything feels heavier and I don't know how to fix it. It's because of my bad mood. The words that came out of my mouth surprised me. Her reaction surprises me even more. Her quiet face suddenly breaks into laughter. It's unexpected. It snaps me right out of my memory. Hey! Don't try to get out of it by laughing. I'm sorry for my frivolous, embarrassing behavior. However, to be in a position where I can worry about something like that, I must be a happy woman indeed. That thought made me laugh. I am sorry though. People lads. Well, yes, this is a bit of a quandary, right? What do you think, brother? Huh? What do you mean? In this situation, which matter would you want me to prioritize? You're asking me. Well, obviously I want. Why would you say this? Obviously, I want you to prioritize me. I guess, like, basically, if you have a bad mood as well, then you will prioritize you, Aisha. What? Really? Yes. I want to listen to your desires and grant them if possible. To do so brings me great joy. But your brother might get lonely. You wonder who the heck upstaged him. Would he now? I don't think so. You can only say that because you don't understand people's hearts. Sometimes one's heart must be displayed, not spoken of. And I am always sincere when it comes to my siblings. It is the least I can do to thank them for only speaking the truth during our conversations. After she speaks, she looks back and at the priest again. She definitely doesn't understand the true nature of people's hearts. Who would ever only tell the truth? Her convenient words are clearly not meant to be quipped. She's showing her back to me now. She's even showing her back to me. It's terrifying thinking about her kindness having no reason behind it. At this point, it would be better just to know the actual reason. I apologize for taking so long. Wait, you're done already? I've simply explained the important core concepts. This means we won't have to speak for too long. Wait, you can do that? If you can do something so smart, how come you did it until just now? Because until just now, I didn't have anyone beside me who would wait until my words were finished. Well, I guess a little without meaning to. I quickly collect myself. Well, I'm honored. The honor is all mine. There's something I wanted to ask you. What is it? Well, I'd rather not ask you in front of so many people. Could we go somewhere else? She blinks at my glum face, and after a moment gives another casual response. Understood. Understood. How far is she going to let me push her? It's only two of us in the hot water room. Would you like some tea? No, I'm fine. I don't want to bother you too much. Understood. She modestly takes a seat across from me. Everything she does is so mysterious. But she looks so much like the person from before that is startling. And he's in the form of a child. Yet I still realize how much they resemble each other right away. His words come to mind again. You know I talked to the main bishop of the magic department today, right? Yes, I was told as much. Was there some sort of problem? I mean, it's maybe it's not a problem per se. I scratched at my hair pointlessly. Going through this same problem over and over again is making my head hurt. And I'm sorry if I'm making a big deal out of something silly, but you know anything about the marriage? The marriage. She repeats the words softly as if just hearing them. My face feels like it's going to erupt into flame. But that eventually subsides with her face, which has been so calm the entire time. Suddenly takes on a more glum look. I see. You finally heard about that, just today. 6 nuts. So she did know, right from the start. And maybe this is why the other priest's attitudes towards me are so much more positive today. I didn't actually get much more of an explanation, so I was hoping you could go into more detail. Of course. It deals into matters involving our family. Is that alright with you? Yep, fine by me. Very well then. She nods and gives a small sign. One thing that sets the magic department apart from the others is at the temple is that we're all family, but you know why that is. I mentioned that yesterday, but now that I think of it, he didn't really go into detail. We may just all come from a very old traditional family lineage. The family themselves have long since branched out, but we all come from the same roots. Same roots. And then you weren't just trying to say you have tight bonds. You mean all mages are actually related to each other? Yes. And that is a true tradition of our mage family. I mean, I thought the priest's face looked all equally scary, but... Oh, did that surprise you? Not really. Everyone was basically one big family in the village I used to live in too. We all had the same bloodlines. I'm relieved to hear it wasn't too much of a shock for you. So, why bring me in? I'm a total stranger. I believe my uncle explained this, but you have the blood of mages in you as well, brother. That's the part I understood at least. Mages have gone back for many generations. Long ago, there were many of us. Plenty of them live outside the capital as well. One of those is your ancestor, brother. Essentially, all the boys my age at my village died out. That's why the adults never gave up on teaching me. Even though they didn't take kindly to how weird I was or how much trouble I caused. But that isn't enough to explain this. There must be plenty of mages in the capital, why me? I don't have that many stigmata, and you don't know for sure I carry mage blood. In order to explain that, I must first tell you about my uncle, the main bishop of the magic department. Yes. Yes. People often call him called the conservative, but he assumed the position at a young age, and now grapples with a great many problems. It's just the need to reform our current system of marriage between those closely related, telling him to invite an outsider into the family. He did. That's most likely why he assigned you to the cleanup department at first, to keep you a secret. Because what my uncle is doing right now is tantamount to outright rebellion against our family. Is that why he even kept it a secret from me? She bites her lip and hangs her head, lowering it until her face is out of sight. Her back hair flows down underneath the table. I'm sorry, brother. After she says that, it makes sense. She's apologizing to me right now. I have essentially lured you here due to personal circumstances. I am so utterly ashamed of myself. I will understand if you look coldly upon me after this. From the very depths of my heart, I apologize. Like a distinct dream that hasn't felt real until this moment. What she's saying passes through my mind, causing me to pay attention. Her serious, grave voice is shaking as she boldly defends her position, which shocks me. That resounds in my mind more than the parts about reforming their family or taking advantage of me. A warm trickle of liquid drips down my cheek. Surprise! I put a hand to it and find it's not a tear, but a droplet of sweat. Why did I think it was a tear? Settle down, Arnie. You don't need to apologize. I really don't mind it. I was just a little surprised, that's all. Come on, stop blowing, alright? My nervously strained voice is a horse. A moment later, only the sound of breathing, though I don't know whose, permeates this forlorn space. She slowly looks up. I feel another chill in my heart as I look at her shadowed face. But seeing no moisture in the corners of her deep eyes sets my mind at ease. I'll be honest, I'm still confused about this, and I'm not prepared to accept it either. But I do still want to be friends with you. For today, I just wanted to ask about what I didn't. 6 dots. So, I'm actually thankful because you only told me the truth. You would find it in yourself to forgive someone like me. Forgive? I wasn't mad to begin with. I'm the one who said he wanted to work in the capital. Right. You didn't see me treating you or anyone else in a way, right? Anyone else in a mean way, right? She nods. I still shut tight. It looks more like she convinced herself rather than trying to answer me. If you have any requests at all, I will hear them. I swear in the name of Arn Alternata that I will do my utmost to support you. Her voice is steady, her posture is straight and true, and her eyes are focused on me. It actually makes me anxious. You're right, Arnie. Did none of this bother you when you first heard it? I owe my uncle my life. I may be unworthy of it, and of the future of our family. But if I am able to do anything to help them, I can imagine no greater honor. Her family's honor. That makes me think of another awkward question, but I decided not to ask it. Because as she told me that, her expression was the most comfortable I'd seen from her all day. I might not understand it, but for her, devoting herself to her family is a sort of great happiness. Family. family is stronger. I wonder if I could ever really become family to you. I may not have known your face or your personality before meeting you, but I did at least have your name from the start. Is that enough? And that name is brother. And as a brother, I have considered you a new member of of my family since before we met. The two of us leave the room alone, where we're met with the usual footsteps and shouts of the priests honing their talents. My mind is refreshed now that I've left. It also feels somehow gloomy. I don't feel betrayed, and I don't feel rejection towards her either. But was it really the right choice to ask her about it personally? To attach a reason to her kindness? Man, I've been really unlucky today. Alright. After all, it's starting to get dark. I can visit one more place, then I have to head back. Oh god. Why? So, it's another save because we can check the other one. We'll try to check every other choice for now then. But, oh god. Why? We can only, we can only check one more place. Oh god. So, no, we will not finish it yet. We will also check the other choice at least. We're going to save a lot of this. I'm gonna say this. Workplace. I'm just gonna check from security. That's how much folks coming and going from my vantage point. And that's all of the central staircase. My mind replays from the events earlier. The events from earlier. Whenever I have a moment to spare, memories from the previous night instantly fill my thoughts. So I shouldn't be thinking about that right now. There seems to be a gap in my memory. I can't remember anything up until I saw Maya and Claire off before heading out to get some pork. Down in town. I get the feeling I'll just be in everyone's way if I continue to stand here. So I begin wandering around. I want to go outside, preferably somewhere I can be alone. The dormitory is crowded as usual, but as soon as I put some distance between us, the crowd instantly vanish. I'm on the path leading toward the workplace. It's wide enough for several people to walk side by side, and yet it's late enough that there's no one here but me, just like yesterday. Smoke rises up into the black sky above. The acrid air irritates my lungs and makes me cough. The outdoors workplace feels cooler, but is far from clean thanks to the massive amounts of soot. Soot the birds, soot the birds. Speaking of air quality, the town from earlier today wasn't that clean either. The heavy pollution in the capital is, indeed, a big problem. And this is where we deal with the corpses we find, surrounded by smoke. Well, actually, there's only one person who deals with them. Within the cramped room, the scorched floor, splattered with the dried up remains of yellow soup, is an old man's corpse on the verge of becoming a lost soul. Disposal takes amount no time at all, so there's no danger. The only movement to be found being is in his blackened limbs. His one arms and legs, nothing more than skin and bone, which and jerk, as if there's still life in it. Which is when the other guy breaks his sword down. I simply stand there watching from afar. Memories of what I've seen leave me feeling excessively uncomfortable. Is whatever burning in the incinerator part of a dead body. I find it harder to breathe the closer I get. Peering in the incinerator, there's nothing left but charred ash, burned beyond recognition. Don't get to the close to the incinerator, it's dangerous. A jovial voice scatters my thoughts. I guess I didn't hear her footsteps over the sound of the machinery. I hear a chuckle from somewhere behind me. Though she means well, her presence is kind of a mixed blessing. Standing in front of her, my mind tends to fill up with way too many thoughts. Don't stand too close. Someone might come up behind you and push you inside. Your Excellency, I know you're joking, but that's kind of a cruel joke. You're lucky that this time it was just me. Hmm? Is that part of the joke? Because that sounds like a threat. The punchline is my death, right? I'm not joking in the slightest. Even God has no right to toy with human life. Only someone with truly malicious intent would do something like that. Malicious intent. It's painful to admit. Not like the other departments. The precinct cleanup department meet a lot of bereaved relatives face to face. There are many grieving who bear grudges without rhyme or reason. I have an idea what she means. I felt something similar earlier. As a member of the disposal team, it's part of my job to help those affected by the death of a loved one to safely vent their hatred, rage, and grief. It might seem irrational, but it's nothing personal. Thinking about it carefully, there's someone I'm especially curious about. I preserve one thing, but what about this person in front of me? Why are you staring me so seriously? You represent an entire group of people, correct? So you don't mind being responsible for our department. Wow, you're worried about me. Well, my goodness. You have such a sweet soul. This is the second time a priest has shown concern over my well-being. When did you become a bishop? Hmm, Um, since the formation of this department, so about 3 years ago. Not only two people expressed worry over 3 years seems like an issue. I truly think so. Huh? You know, Your Excellency, you're kind of unsettling. You mean because I tend to wobble side to side like this? The way you move makes you look like a puppet on a string. Almost like you'll fall over if I take my eyes of, of you for even just a moment. You think my lips are controlled by strings? Also, yeah, but that tendency to constantly change the subject like now. Perhaps stop going off on weird tangents. I'm completely invested in our conversation. You're the one with the tendency to flit from topic to topic. Belial. That's also true, to be honest. Our chats always end up going around in confusing circles. You're the one that's always one step behind, Your Excellency. For every word you speak, a normal person like me understands. Ridiculous. I've always wanted to ask you this, but is your slow way of speaking just a habit of yours? Not a purposeful habit. Purposeful habit. In fact, I haven't noticed that I speak any slower than anyone else. I'm merely trying to match my pace with whoever I'm talking to. Perhaps your way of thinking is as slow as the manner with which you speak. You just cut me off in the middle of a thought again. There's no way I can respond when you do things like that. Oops, sorry. You kinda trail off, so I thought you were done talking. I was really deciding on what to say next. Hold on, hold on. Well then, I think we're done with that topic for now. I'm just as confused as before. Tell me that necessary shouting. You do tend to talk much louder and much faster during our morning assemblies and in the chapel. Well, of course, I'm preaching the good gospel. As your teacher, it would be unbecoming for me to not know what I'm talking about. Those are all very different situations, to be frank. Not the best when it comes to expressing my personal opinions. By the way, what's the silver rosary in the temple used for? It's a kind of identifier that marks the temple priest. Since each is inscribed with the name of the priest it belongs to, it takes about a week to replace them if lost or damaged. So, what do you think we'll have for lunch tomorrow? Uh, grating, perhaps. Ooh, interesting. I found an unexpected weakness. Don't look your elder sound. I wonder if she uses such vague, sorry language in order to hide how bad she is at expressing herself. As someone who's quick to put my thoughts into words, it's hard for me to understand. The more transparent someone appears, the more suspicious I get. So this time, it's less about her as a person and more about her role as a bishop. The priests in the temple are so unfeeling that it's clearly they don't even care about you. Perhaps it never bothered me in the same way because I never viewed it as problematic. I guess I've never been bitter about the various obstacles thrown in my way, as I mean their through my life. Even if people accuse you of things behind your back or speak bad about you, I'm still not bitter. Negative feelings only give birth to more negativity. Everything revolves about divine providence. The cleanup department exists to keep the capital and the temple running. When that hatred and rage is passed on to me, then it's more marvelous proof that the cleanup department is working as intended. Uh-huh. So everything really is for the sake of the nation. Well, of course. The cleanup department was created for the sake of the people. Besides, there's no way I could feel bitter resentment or being grace with this role from our blessed Father above. If you're okay with it, then I guess that's fine. But I'm not sure if the other priests, including myself, see it that way. And yet the cleanup department seems to be thriving, with all the priests carrying out their respective roles marvelously. And how grateful I am because of it. I can feel my heart sinking again. I don't think she has any idea the kind of lives the folks under her care are. She seems to think the priest would talk to her if there was a problem, but I strongly disagree. She must know that she's a bishop. She must know that if she's a bishop. Are you aware that the priests in the cleanup department don't get along? They don't. Earlier today, I saw a fight suddenly break out in the middle of a cleanup job. One guy was beat up so bad. His face was a, one guy was beat up so bad. His face was a bloody mess. It wasn't an isolated incident either. Bullying runs rampant and gossip flows freely. That simply can't be. Granted, I might have just happened to run into a couple of bad faith actors, but the number of incidents seems fairly high when you consider I've only been here for less than 3 days. A shadow falls over her face. Shadow falls over her face. I shut my mouth, perhaps a moment too late. I don't think anything I said was uncalled for. I wanted to be sure. I heard enough rumors about the bishop, such as how incompetent she is and how fully dependent on her family's good name. I've always wondered how much truth lays in malicious gossip. And she merely looks up at me again, her usual smile still on her face. Brother Belial, I am not indifferent to the things that happen. Her voice is as light and calm as always, though there's an unusual, resolute tone to it. I know what happens in my department. Then why don't you do anything about it? If you said something about it, then the priest would have to listen to you, right? I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure I've already told you plenty of times before that I have no intention of getting involved more than I already have. I've talked to them face to face, warning them about their behavior. If nothing changes, then maybe more draconian measures are necessary. I disagree. I believe in the priests who work here. As I mentioned earlier, negative feelings only give birth to more negativity. I have no intention of purposefully abandoning the priest in my care. Folks here call your approach simplistic and irresponsible. It's going to take you seriously when you place all your faith in one magical being. Brother Belial, there is no guarantee that he who I place my faith in will ever respond. And yet my faith never wavers. I trust him wholly and truly. I've never lost sight of it. I didn't understand what she meant at first, but after talking with Hammond, I understand her reasoning a lot better. Getting involved with the infighting only puts a band-aid on the situation, without leading to a lasting solution. Folks don't make peace over a forced handshake. It's impossible to pray away the hatred harbored in someone else's heart. That's probably what she's trying to say. What if I end up being transferred to a different department? Eh, her hair sways slightly with the excessively tall woman's back and forward movements. Her hair seems to express her sentiments before she speaks them, like an animal switching tail. My department is different than the others. The other departments are filled with folks who chose to be there. This kind of department, meanwhile, is where those who've been pushed to the limits of reality end up. The way you describe it makes it sound like hell itself. The word hell had faintly flitted through my mind, only to come out her mouth. I'm too stunned to not, let alone answer. And my reaction clearly confirms her question. Take my reaction. She brings her sleeve to cover her smile. And yet, this department isn't hell. As living creatures, all those who have fallen here can still rise above it. Can still rise above it. Which is partly why I'm charged with teaching the priests in my care, that, so that you may face your own sins and to love one another. Have you ever considered that your way of thinking might be wrong? Not at all. I believe in my teachings and in the wisdom bestowed upon me by God, our Father who art in heaven. If you cannot believe in yourself, then how do you expect others to do so? The other priests don't seem to like you that much. And yet I continue to love them all equally. Uh, This is exactly what I mean. That's what I refer to as belief. The rising smoke slowly begins dissipating. I cough soundlessly, my lungs and throat irritated by the haze. I still don't understand it. I can usually figure out what someone's thinking or what exactly they want after talking to them. But being unable to get a good read of the bishop means I have no idea how to deal with her. Now, the more information I glean from her, the more lost I feel. Staring fixate, staring fixedly at her, she always seems to look away the moment our eyes meet. Perhaps the only thing I've learned is that anything I say to her is useless. That she's not interested in figuring out a direct solution because she's living in an entirely different reality. But that's not necessarily so bad. Thanks to that, I don't have to consider my words quite as carefully as I do when speaking to others. Actually, a bunch of stuff happened in town today. A bunch of stuff, such as I wasn't seriously injured, but a bunch of folks expressed their frustration and anger toward me. I never met them before, and I have no idea what they have been through. It happens. I felt a lot of ways about what happened. Like if I'm going to have to endure this much abuse, I'm not sure if I'm really qualified for the job. They are, of course, children of God, but to the, we too, despite being the recipients of their negativity, are also children of God. A person only becomes a person with the acquisition of emotions. She steps closer to me before placing her hand on my shoulder. I was surprised at first. I soon calmed down. Her hand covered in hard leather, also a trace of warmth or comfort, yet it grounded me. She squeezes my shoulder gently, as if trying to alleviate my concern. Sadness is sadness, pain is pain, regret is regret. All of those feelings are valid. Triple nuts. Keep doing your best, brother. Right. I was honestly surprised at first. I took it up to personal reasons from my role in the department. Right, exactly. Honestly, it's the best policy. I'm sure you're busy every day putting out multitudes of fires. But I love helping people out. That's not exactly what I meant. That I'm busy helping make sure this place runs smoothly means you must feel my presence everywhere you go, right? The way you describe it makes you sound like a workaholic. Depends on the job, right? If you want to be appreciated so much, why not work in a job that only you can do? I strongly believe this job is something only I can do. Only I can do this well. What? Running around like a chicken with their head cut off? Listening to your problems and your fellow priests. Listening to your problems, son. The cleanup department exists for the people, but the bishop exists for the priests. You may leave us one day for the magic department. For the magic department, Brother Belial. But for now, you're one of us. And it's my duty as your bishop to assist you. I urge you to come to me with any hardships or problems you might face. 6 dots. It's the pause in our conversation. I glanced at her before stepping away. The shoulder her hand rested on a moment ago feels heavier than the other. I shake my head once before answering. I appreciate it, but I'm fine. There's nothing weighing on me. I have no intention of telling her what I'm going through. I have a hard enough confiding in other people, and I have no doubt nothing good will come from her knowing. She is, in fact, the last person I ever tell my secrets to. This feeling of rejection probably stems from my inability to trust her. I see. Well, if there's anything you wish to share with me, I'm all ears. I love listening to stories, but you're always so busy. I still have no idea how trustworthy she is. Possibility can't be cleaned from appearances alone. And I don't know the first thing about the type of person she truly is. I seem to be subconsciously wary of her. So now I understand how she became the bishop of the cleanup department. You enjoy living here, Belial. I've begun to appreciate the temple. Feels like a giant cage to me. Designed to keep goats, rabbits, and all manner of animals trapped inside. All guarded by a bishop who refuses to get involved with any of their affairs, unless it involves a rampaging beast attempting to escape. Okay, let me to like press immediately. Attempting to escape. That's how she keeps the peace here. Okay. There we go. Anyone that says like it, anyone says they like it here, has clearly lost their mind. Their damn mind. I try to give her answer she wants to hear. The answer she wants to hear, but can't bring myself to do so. She barely laughs in response before walking. Unable to ask her directly what kind of person she is, I'm left feeling a mix. I'm left feeling a mix of emotions. I don't hate her, but I do hate the department itself. The cleanup department in particular seems especially barbaric. So this is where it's going to end. Unfortunately, so we will not be able to check. Just save from this, but I'll continue still for now. I'm heading back to the dorm. I can feel the strength rapidly draining from my legs with each step. Probably I keep I keep touching the touchpad. I'm heading back to the dorm. I can feel the strength rapidly draining from my legs with each step. Probably thanks to a sense of relief over reaching the end of a very long day. Almost immediately, I come across someone as exhausted as me. It's definitely Maya. Maya, long day, huh? Eep! Oh, Belle. Oh, Belle. It sure was. Seems like you have a rough day, too. I'm glad today's finally over. I'm too tired to function. Did something happen? So many things. Actually, until just a moment ago. I was still working. You were busy all day today, right? Since we didn't work at all in the morning, everything piled up. I was just getting things cleaned up and in order. You don't get stuff done right away. It becomes a huge headache later. Uh, thanks for taking care of that. I'm really sorry I wasn't there to help. So I'm sure I would have just been in the way regardless. No way. Everything was so much harder without you there. Triple butts. As our conversation flags, she suddenly stops. And she turns and just looks at me silently. Wondering if I said something that made her uncomfortable. Suddenly presses her face against my body. I get the feeling she doesn't want me to touch her. And yet she's well within hugging distance. I look down to see her standing stock still. Still her eyes squeezed shut. I hear her sniffle quietly a few times, and then she steps back. Maya. Well, do you smell that? As if she managed to answer some kind of question, some question of hers. Her attention shifts to a spot just behind me. Seeing the look of concern on her face, I tentatively sniff the air. The stench of blood is coming from somewhere. Hereby disquiet, I exchange glances with Maya before nodding. Following the scent cautiously, I come upon a familiar path. We're close to the job site I went earlier in the day. The one where I witnessed the fight. Upon the realization, my heart starts beating furiously. Furiously so loud that it's hard to hear anything else. My mind is assaulted by a flurry of disturbing images, quickly solidifying as soon as we turn the corner. I catch sight of what looks like a worm on top of the blood-soaked ground. Something slid on me a little bit, sorry. It only takes me a moment to realize the worm is actually a human finger. My heart, which was pounding frantically, insanely goes quiet. Maya, who's right behind me, yelps in surprise, instantly bringing me back to reality and snapping me out of my daze. The repulsive stench of blood flooded all my senses. The scene of the carnage before us seemed fairly fresh. The blood hasn't had time to dry. The stone floor wet and sticky with it. I shrink back as the body slowly oozes closer to my feet. One step, then another. One more, I feel my body bump into something. I hadn't noticed a shadowy figure at first, but suddenly it was right behind me. Triple dots. The clank of her high heels cutting through my chaotic confusion. Her pale skin and white hair, like something out of a painting. It's definitely the bishop. Although the radiance that usually surround her is nowhere to be seen. She's cloaked in the shadow, floating through the darkness. The golden light that usually shines in her eyes is gone. Yep. This is the bishop for a bishop we saw in like first day. Replaced with a cruel, ice cold blue heat, glowing from between the depths of each pillow. Her emotionless, cold gaze stares past us, picks up the carnage that lies beyond us. Bishop, the diabolical desolation, unable to handle the overwhelming emotion. Maya cautiously breaks the silence first. The bishop tilts her head up at an angle and smiles. The gesture causes my body to break out into goosebumps. It's dangerous out here. It's late at night. It's not safe for rookies. Such as yourselves. Oh, I'm really sorry. All this. Someone must have left a sack full of llamas. I'll take care of it. So don't give this situation a second thought, you two. Please get back to the dorm and rest easy. Her voice is soft and cold, and yet she's smiling. Afraid to open our mouth. We simply bow as respectfully as possible in her direction as we continue on our way. Sorry to bother you. Our apologies. Despite the smile she gives us as we walk off. I kept watching her against my better judgment. The smile instantly vanishes as soon as she turns away, causing my horrified discomfort to blaze up once more. But there's something else as well. The way she looked last night, outside the abandoned chapel, really was different from earlier today. It's like she's a different person entirely. My heart hammers furiously in my chest. Still traumatized by what I saw today. What I saw that day. I feel something akin to fear. And yet this feeling is also completely different. It's bizarre. You think I've come to know her well enough to assuage this feeling. The exaltation of once again finding something you've spent ages looking for. Our job. Maya, whose mouth has been quivering slightly all the way up, just stares to the door, suddenly speaks up. Upon hearing her voice, my heart, which I thought would never stop racing, finally begins to slow down. She clasps her still trembling hands, together in an attempt at setting her own nerves. Her job is about cleaning up dead bodies, right? Hmm? Yeah, that's right. People nuts. Why do you ask? I just feel like we're getting all worked up over nothing. Oh fuck. Ah, frick me. I just feel like we're getting all worked up over nothing. And yet it's weird not to feel shocked over seeing something like that, right? Pretty much. I fall silent. We eventually part ways after a seemingly abrupt farewell. I thought I'd gotten used to the strange goings on at the temple by now. But it seems like there's still a lot I don't know about what happens here or how to get by. The folks here in the temple are nuts. The longer I'm here, the more doubtful I'm about what exactly is considered normal. Is it the temple itself that changes people? Foreshadowing! With the constant darkness numbing my perception of time, it feels like yesterday was an eternity ago. I can't help but worry about what lies in wait tomorrow. Alright. We're not going to stop here. We're going to check the other choice, at least for the other one. For the meantime, we will actually just stop here. Funny enough, it lags here, by the way. I'll save here. Before we continue, we're going to load here. Actually, we're not going to continue. This will be our last one. So we'll check what happens on the stairs. This one's a new place, though. Stairs. Alright. We still go about the temple in our their job's still unfinished. I'm the only one who looks like he has nothing to do, and I feel like I stand out like a sore thumb. I look for a spot in the back where I won't get in their way, and on my way to the rear gates, I spot a passage I've never seen before. They can get mad at me for going in, right? It's not like there's a sign saying authorized person. Wait, I am authorized person. You are working in this place. As it says bishop only. Stairs. I go in and find a dismal looking staircase. This looks like the emergency stairs. It's already been 3 days since I came to the temple, but I never knew this place existed. All the priests just go straight from the front gates to the central staircase though. So I suppose that it makes sense. It's quiet inside, without a trace of human activity. Surrounded on all sides. I can't hear anything. And before I even take a breath, I feel as though I have just left the temple entirely. This quiet place is perfect for organizing my thoughts when I don't simply want to go back to my dorm. Judging by the dust everywhere, this place hasn't been used in a pretty long time. I guess not many people would come to a gloomy place like this for no reason. I'm kind of excited now. It's like I found a secret spot nobody else knows about. But that skips entirely. So we can skip this now. You see, for what known dialogue. So Stable it. This is like day 4. Yeah, I think it will be not starting on the morning anyway instead, so I will start with a nightmare, but we'll see. I wonder if that will be relevant. Just gonna save here. And we're gonna return to title because it might be lagging by the way. Yes. So that's it for now for Happy Saint Sheol. We will probably start at day. So probably it's going to be day 3 part 1 of how I probably do this. Day 3 part 1, day 4 part 1, day 5 part 1, and day 3 afternoon part 2, day 4 part 2, and day 5 part 2. That'll be the case. I'm not sure how will this go about the end game anyways. That's like my biggest issue and biggest worry because how is this go? Should I record everything that is different first for each day? Probably something like that. I'm not sure how many days even. We're already assuming like there's like a lot of days, but I'm just gonna guess that. For now, I will just go into one route and then we'll revisit later of like day 3 instead. If that's what I'm gonna go for, or I might do for like all choices first, and then we'll proceed to day 4 and then halfway up day 4. So anyway, that's it for Happy Saint Sheol for now. Overall, it's really cool. Very intriguing. I also like that each choice is like also leads to different places as well. So really nice. I guess funny enough that if you want a speedrun of Happy Saint Sheol, it's going to be just select the stairs. That's the fastest way to end. But still, I'm enjoying this game so far. I don't know what like every character at least has really some cool traps. Fortunately, not still that many of like horror part, but there's like many dark things and like gruesome things, like, and everything just as fine as it is, which is like, to be honest, I feel like I've already seen so many incidents like that in like other visual novels, but again, as I said before, like does it help with it does it help that it also has like the dull ass backgrounds and things, so that only adds up as well as to like the awfulness of like the temple. So anyway, that's it for Happy Saint Sheol for now. I'm pretty excited to continue to still for now for day 4. The problem is, will there be more choices after that, or it only depends on like choices on the day? If there will be more choices, that will be a problem. But that's it for Happy Saint Sheol Part 3. Day 3 Part 1 for now. We'll revisit again for Part 2. Day 3 for Part 2 as well. So, anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you into another part. At this point, I might also record ISAT Part 8, but you'll be seeing this first uploaded and published alongside ISAT Part 7, so yeah. Bye bye! And may stars guide you. And may stars guide you.